Well, thank you, everyone, for joining us today. I think Suzanne is going to kick us off and get us started with this. Suzanne, are you there?
I am here. Good morning, everybody. How are you? Welcome to Alberta Open Farm Days. It'll be held this year, October 13th to 14th. As you all know, it's a province-wide event inviting Albertans to learn about the rural and experience the rural life. The farms will be open Saturday and Sunday to the general public. Visitors are treated to authentic and educational rural experiences, backstage pass for visitors to see your farms firsthand and to meet the farmers, the opportunity to learn where their food comes from and how it's produced, learning where and how to support a local food system, and exploring rural Alberta. So what's new with ACE? So I am the new events and programs coordinator for the Alberta Association of Ag Societies. I started with them in February, but I have been involved with ACE for about 12 years at their annual convention, as well as I have been on a couple different agricultural society boards with Airdrie and Strathmore over the last 30 years in various capacities. So I'm quite familiar with the association. Insurance for 2022. We will probably have that information out to everybody about 30 days from the event. It does take a bit of time for the underwriters to get all that information and let us know any exclusions, but we will communicate that to everybody in July. There's some concerns for 2022 in regards to the avian flu. We will get that information up on our website. You can also go to the Government of Alberta website for information on that if you do have any concerns. We are working on a new website, so we're just tweaking some things on there, but the new website is up and running for everybody for this year. We're happy to announce that we have Service on board this year as our presenting sponsor for Alberta Open Farm Days, as well as our continued partnership with Travel Alberta and Alberta Agriculture, Forestry, and Rural Economic Development. You can reach out to the office in ways to work with your regional ag societies. We do have a few ag societies that have registered for Open Farm Days. I know Rocky Mountain House area, that ag society is actually going to be putting together a tour to take people around to the farms in that area. Millerville is also putting on an event, as well as Stettler is working with some of the farms and stuff in their area as well to put on an event. But you can also reach out to our office at any time just to see, you know, what your ag societies can do to help you out to promote your event. So the big picture of our team and what we offer. So we offer capacity building. So on our website, and we will be sharing this link with you shortly. We will have checklists and trainings for hosting your on-farm events, coaching and support for your event, and support for the event day with regards to insurance, signage, all that kind of stuff that you require. We do have training support for your permitting, and Tanis will be able to help you with that. So there's training for Alberta Health Services, as well as training for Alberta Gaming and Liquor Commission. Nicola is our media and marketing. And we will be getting the information out for advertising for the event for you. So that's not something that you have to do. We'll support your business through digital programming, whether it's website, Facebook, Instagram, and other media opportunities. We do offer a reimbursement for portable toilets. It is good to check around to get, some quotes on that, because they can vary depending on the companies, and we do reimburse up to $200. You can reach out to me in regards to the host resources, so signage. We'll have information out shortly as to how the signs will get out to you and where you can pick them up at. If you need help updating your profile or any information that you would have registered, you can reach out to me and I can help you with that and get that fixed up for you, as well as you can reach out to our office again in regards to any of the Ag Society contacts or how they can help as well. So you can just reach out to me. My email will be on at the end of the slide, and I will help you as best I can.
Hello, I was muted. Sorry. I am Nicola. I am the marketing coordinator here at Open Farm Days. So my job is to, right now, my big job is making sure that website is up and running ASAP, and making sure all the little bugs are on there. Then there is the advertising, traditional and digital. So Open Farm Days spends a significant amount of money every summer through traditional marketing. So traditional marketing meaning we purchase ads in local newspapers across the province. So what we do is we take a look at all the province and see where all our farms are and try and connect our ad dollars to local newspapers where there's a farm. We also work with our media firm that works on buying radio ads, TV ads, and also get us some interviews. So you might be called upon to do an interview with the media. If this is something that you're comfortable with, you can always say no. But they're a really great opportunity to tell a local food story if you are interested. The social media marketing. So what we do is our social media platforms are mostly consumers. So a lot of the stuff that we do is consumer facing and how they can visit your farm and what they can experience during your Open Farm Days event, which is why your profiles are so important on your website. And we can talk about this another day, but making sure that on your profile that you have a good description that says what it is that you're planning on doing. Are there timed tours? What if you're offering food? What's your food? Is your event for children or is it for families? Is it for adults only? Like what your event is. That really helps us with sharing that information with media, and then also sharing that information with consumers. And then the influencer marketing. So I don't know if anyone's interested in this, but influencer marketing has stopped over the pandemic. And so we'll be introducing more influencer marketing this year. And that is including food writers, also part of like the earned media. And again, just getting the word out about your farm, about Open Farm Days, and trying to get as much traffic as we can on the highways traveling throughout Alberta for Open Farm Days. I do want to take a minute to talk about the new website. You will notice if you've participated in Open Farm Days before or been to our website before, you will see that there's been some changes, particularly with profiles, which I do want to preface, not all profiles are updated yet. They are happening today, fingers and toes crossed. And what that looks like is what we were trying to accomplish with the new look was a year-round agritourism look. And that means that we can promote agritourism and we can promote farm events throughout the year, not just through Open Farm Days. So whether that's through pumpkin patches, corn mazes, if you're hosting farm events on your farm in the winter or the spring, that we're able to support that through our website. So stay tuned for more information on that. And as Suzanne said, we will be sharing links to the host resource section on the website, which will have information with forms that you can download, links to training sessions that we've had in the past. It has links to all the forms. I think I already said that, but the forms that you might need and any links that you might need for AGLC, AHS that you could download, all kinds of information there. And I think that is it.
All right. Well, hello, everyone. I am here to talk to you a little bit about food. A little background on me. I've been working with Open Farm Days now for about 7 years. And my area is really around sort of culinary, also food on the farm, and regulatory stuff. And our goal really is, one, to make sure that everyone has a safe and also a very profitable Open Farm Days. And food plays a very major role in some of those profit lines. And there's ways to work with it on a very basic level and also quite advanced. So we're happy to be here and to be able to help you through that process. We're doing a couple of new things for this year. So for 2022, this isn't just about food, but we have developed a training program for cluster development. So what that is intended to do is to help groups of farms and regions work together to grow what's happening in their industry. So if you're interested in getting involved in that, please reach out to me. We are going to be doing some spring training, and then we're also going to do a lot more in the fall, which gives us a long time to build towards 2023. We're continuing with our food incubator programs that we've now run for the last 4 years. And this year, we've got one that's coming up shortly. So next week, we're actually going to be running a small workshop on our honey incubator program. And it's a really fun project that we've developed with a local chef here. And we are actually doing, excuse me, honey floss. So honey cotton candy, and it's done with local honey, local sugar. So we'll be using the Alberta sugar beet sugar. And we're also using local berries, and we're doing just different flavored honey cotton candy. So it's a really fun program. There is a registration link that's open right now that you can sign up for. And we would sort of encourage anyone who is a berry farm or somebody who works, who has honey hives, or is actually interested in creating an on-farm activation. It's actually fairly simple, and it's a fun thing to sell. So anyone that's a farm is certainly welcome to join. Overall, things that you can talk to me about if you're trying to figure out what to do for your Open Farm Days event, if you want to brainstorm some ideas, I'm happy to talk to you about what you're trying to develop. For those of you that are looking to do something a little bit more elaborate with food, I can address what your needs are for Alberta Health Services, for liquor permits, for artisan markets, to getting all of those things done. I will say, I know when people hear the words licensing or permitting, it can be a little intimidating. We have some wonderful folks that we're working with from AHS and AGLC that really have streamlined the process. We have direct contacts with them to help sort of navigate your permits through. So please don't let that concept intimidate you. They're there to help us, and they've done a remarkable job in terms of even getting us liquor licenses processed in a handful of days. So those are kind of the things that you can talk to me about. Our contact information will be on the next page. But at this point, we would love to, we'll take a look at some of the questions in the chat line and open it up to questions that you may have. Oh, my chat disappeared. Hold on. Oh, there we go. Okay, so we've got a question. Nicola, I'll give you the first one. Is there a link where we can update our own profiles in the Open Farm Days website under the host farms?
No, there's not. And it might seem a little unintuitive, but the reason being is that there are over 100 farms participating in Open Farm Days with different levels of experience working on WordPress. And so the best way to change your profile is just to send us a quick email and I can change it for you. That is something that we have talked about, but I think just because with the varying levels of experience, it's easier for you guys to just email us. don't be embarrassed. Don't be, oh, I'm bugging you. You're not bugging us. Those updated profiles are vital. So I would prefer for you to send me 20 emails to get it perfect than not email us at all.
Great, thank you. Jennifer's still here. I don't see her. Little Cherries on the Prairie was asking about the honey floss. That workshop is open to everyone. So anyone is welcome to come and learn a little bit about it. It has two parts that's kind of fun. One is that it's a fun on-farm activity. It is also very low cost. It also gives you an interesting and fun food item to talk about. What's interesting about our honey floss is it doesn't exist anywhere else. Everyone else is just using a base sugar product. So we're using that combo, and we're also integrating our natural fruits as well. So it is really open to anyone. If you have those ingredients, obviously it makes more sense, but if you're just interested in it as an activity, that's an option as well.
There is the possibility too of using this as an income source. So making it ahead of time and selling it. And if that's something that you're interested in, Tanis can absolutely help, because we love when you guys are having an income source for your farm dates. I know there's a couple of new farms on here, so maybe we could just go quickly through like what the expectations are for Open Farm Days for the new guys. So the expectation is, Open Farm Days is free for you guys to participate in. We ask that there are no charge for consumers to come onto your farm, and that there is a free tour component as well. Our mandate is ag education. And so we want people to come onto the farm and learn how things are produced in Alberta. And now that's not to say that you can't charge for tours. We encourage you to charge for enhanced tours. And I'll just give you an example if that doesn't make sense. So a couple of years ago, A Farms down in Strathmore, they did a free tour, and your tours can be timed or they can be when people show up. It's up to you how you want to plan your day. But what they did was the free tour, where you go and you walk around the farm and you see they have the Mangalitsa pigs, so you can go see the pigs, and they take you the quick tour around their garden. And then they had the enhanced tour, and the enhanced tour included feeding the pigs. It included hot dogs, which I thought was quite funny, and hot chocolate and all those kinds of things. And that was an additional cost. Everyone that did the free tour paid for the enhanced tours, or a majority of them did, because they got and saw the pigs, and now they want to go feed the pigs. So that was a really great way for them to make an income. Other things that you can do for enhanced things, you can sell your product. We encourage that. Little things like hay rides, potato guns, anything like corn mazes, hay rides, anything where you can think like, hey, this is something that maybe someone would pay for. That would be great, but it's also good to have free things on the farm too. So when people are coming to the farm, they're not just shelling out. So what we encourage you to do is put yourself in their position. If you were going to a free event, you would anticipate that there would be paid experiences, but that there might be some free experiences as well.
Yeah, and if I might add to that, one of the natural inclusions is that food piece. So people might expect a tour piece to be free, but they're certainly happy to pay for the bison burgers or the sandwiches or the various things that you have. And I will say, over the years, we have trained people very well to bring their coolers out for Open Farm Days. So people come with that attitude of they're going to be spending money and bringing home lots of good stuff from the farms. So that's something that people are really looking forward to. So I know a few farms have asked us when they're first signing up that it feels sort of strange to be looking at that commerce angle, but that is what the consumers are looking for. They are looking to come and have a free experience and then buy a bunch of stuff. So, so please do take advantage of the fact that they're looking to do that.
Yeah, from a consumer point of view, it's nice to go home with farm fresh food. You spent the day driving around. Now you've got a bunch of veggies and products that you can make supper with when you get home.
Great. Okay, we've got another question. Can you explain the cluster development again and how we get involved in that? I certainly can. And I'm also happy to take some conversations offline as well. but we've developed a 5-part training series, which is talking about how to work in groups, how to work with your neighbors, what some of the thoughts and concepts are around developing rural tourism and how people can work together. So it's a 5-part program that are 1-hour workshops. And what we're doing is encouraging people to come together as a group and understand who could be players in that. So I'm happy to kind of talk about that at more length, but I can also send out some information, and we will be posting details about that on the website as well. All right, now, Nicola, I know you did a poll at the start of how many people are new. So how many new farms do we have here?
Here, I don't know.
Okay.
I just to kind of catch them just in case.
Oh, okay. Wonderful. Hello, we have some new ones. Good.
Yeah, we have quite a few. I don't have the exact number. We do have a few new farms this year, which is fantastic. It is just this Open Farm Days is a big event, and it can be a big event for your farm. I maybe we'll just answer some quick questions, like some facts. How many people are going to show up to your farm? We can't tell you that. It depends on a couple things. One of them is how close you are to, like, the proximity between an urban center. So if you're close to Lethbridge, Red Deer, Edmonton, Calgary, Grand Prairie, you're more likely to receive more visitors than if you are not close to an urban center. So I would say close equals maybe an hour, hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours. You're more likely to get more people. If you are a cluster, so if you are alone and there are no farms participating in Open Farm Days around you, you are less likely to get as many visitors as if you were 2 or 3 farms within a region, which is why that cluster development is important, and what Tanis is working on, the cluster development, because the more likely you are to have more people come to your farm, the more money that you're able to make, the more people are being able to educate it on agriculture in Alberta, and then the more money that can come into communities as well. So it really is a benefit to the consumer because they can get farm fresh product, they can learn about agriculture in Alberta, they can explore all these cool places around the province, but then it's also really beneficial for the farms to add another income stream for their communities to have a weekend where agriculture in their community is celebrated.
Great. And I think on that last page, I don't know if you can put it up, but it has all of our contact information.
Mm-hmm.
Just for those, if anyone has any questions about specifically, you will receive most of your information from the info at Open Farm Days. So the team, so Nicola and Suzanne will be getting that information directly. But if you have specific ones around marketing or culinary or various things, you can feel free to go directly to us. So I don't know if you can put up that last page in case people need our contact.
I can share it in the email.
Okay, perfect.
I think that's it. So if we want to talk about what next steps are for right now, there is a document that was attached to the Welcome to Open Farm Days email, which has that information. But for right this instant, what I would suggest would be to coming up with a timeline of what your event would look like during the day. That timeline is vital because then we can add that to your description on your profile page. We can ensure that you have any forms or AHS information, any AGLC information figured out, and then help you organize whether you need to hire people, whether you need volunteers, or you're roping in your sister or your aunt or your uncle to come and help. What is it that you will need for that? So if you haven't already started working on what your event will look like, now is the time to get that done. And then if you need to update any information on your description, you can email the info at Alberta Open Farm Days, works good. And then if it's food or booze related, then Tanis will be able to help you get organized with your permits.
Yeah, and for anyone that has indicated they're doing culinary, they will receive an email from me coming out today. And that will link to some of the dates and some of the information that's important for you to have. and you're welcome to give me a call, and I'm happy to chat through your programs with you. But I think there's lots and lots and lots of time, which is great, but it's really good to be thinking about what you're going to be doing. And just to underline, I think Nicola's point, I think your descriptions of what you're doing are very, very important to make sure that you have those updated. We did have some farms last year that said, hey, we haven't sold any tickets, to our lunch event that we were doing. And I went and I took a look at their the web links and the information they'd sent us, and they hadn't actually put down that they were doing it. So of course they hadn't. So if we don't communicate what's happening, then you're not going to actually get the results from it. So that is really important. And that's something that typically we find people to leave to the end. And we would encourage you to sort of develop, even if you don't know exactly what it's going to be, it'd be really important to develop at least an outline for it as early as possible, just so people are thinking, oh, that's wonderful, that's a great stop, I'll plan my lunch around it because it looks like they've got something available that I can buy. So you might not have all the details, but the framework is very, very important.
So just to answer your message, Jacqueline, will we be directly sending out to the municipal economic developments? We never have. We have had, and this is that part where the cluster development comes in, where you are interested in having more of the ag tourism and open farm days as part of your community. This is where we all need to kind of come together. And so we have had some communities reach out to us and say, we'll just give Red Deer County for an example. Red Deer County is always asking us who's participating so that they can support those farms. So it might be beneficial as well as part of this cluster development, or even for just your own farm, and saying, hey, we're participating in open farm days this year. What are we doing? Can you help us? Some communities will give grants to farms that are participating in open farm days, which might offset some cost. So directly reaching out to your economic development or municipal government or community futures even would be a good idea. So I think I have another question in my head, just because I've been doing this for so long too. How do you get volunteers? Ag societies, if you have an ag society in your community and you're looking for partners, ag societies are a great way to get some extra help. Suzanne's a great resource for that. Also, teenagers are really great. I have teenagers. I know that they can be teenagers, but they're a really great way of, they can count how many people are coming in, they can sell tickets, they can do lots of different things. So, call on, local 4-H organizations or neighbors or cousins or whatever. They're really great. And then also, look around to the different communities within your own community to find out volunteers. Sometimes it's even like your local Facebook group and saying, hey, I'm looking for volunteers for open farm days. These are positions that we need. And that would be helpful. A couple things from things that we have learned over the years. What do you need to think about in terms of a consumer coming to your farm? A lot of times the people that come visit the farm, and I think Rick, who is here, has mentioned this before, a lot of times the city folks have never been on a farm before and never seen a cow in real life. So making sure that it's, an accessible, fun experience, that it's easy to park. Urban people are not used to parking on grass, so making sure that things are well signed. Parking here, sometimes even having a volunteer directing the parking is helpful. Having signed off areas of where to go, where not to go. You live on your property, that is your home. Have a sign, do not come into my house. Having signs about porta potties. If you have indicated that your property is wheelchair accessible, it might not be. So I would double check to make sure that the accessibility of your farm is proper before we kind of talk about whether it's wheelchair accessible or not. Your municipality will be able to help you that with the accessibility piece. And then also to make sure that there are no regulations that your municipality or your rural community have when you're hosting an event like Open Farm Days. To date, I don't think we've had any problems, but there might be some that we are not aware of. So it would be up to you to check with your local government to make sure that you are good to go. And I think that's it. Is there any other questions? And then you don't have to listen to me anymore.
I have a question. I'm Suzanne from the Barhead area.
Hi.
Hi. So this is our first time signing up, and it actually seems quite overwhelming, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
So what are your typical times that the gates are open?
Usually
like
10.
5?
We usually do, I mean, you got to think it's a Saturday. People are jumping in their cars, they're driving for an hour or so. So yeah, I would usually say like 10 to 4, 10 to 5, 9 to 4 are typical.
Okay.
You don't need to start at the crack of dawn. Give yourself some time to have a coffee, set up.
Right.
Yeah, it is overwhelming. I can 100% see how it's overwhelming. We often compare it to like hosting a wedding, where you have to, worry about where everyone's going to park, who's going to, it is. But that's what we're here to help with. And that's why we recommend, having a little team to help you and then planning out what your day is going to look like. I don't know if there are any, I see some like Nick, should I pick on you? And Rick, like you're old timers, Paulette here as well. They've participated in Open Farm Days for a few years. Do you have anything to add to help Suzanne out?
It doesn't sound like they do.
Nope.
So I have talked to.
It's okay, I totally called them out.
So I've talked to someone just briefly that has had Open Farm Days in our area in previous years, and basically all they said is, "Oh, it's super fun," but
Yeah.
Is it mandatory to have a porta potty? Is that mandatory?
I would say that. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's a basic human thing that humans do. So
you have to have 2 then, or is 1 sufficient?
I don't know. Oh yeah, you go, Tanis.
Yeah, so the regulations are based on the number of people that are on the farm. So typically what we say, it's going to depend on where the farm is, how close it is to major centers and things like that. So if we have, say, something that is targeted to be around 25 people an hour, and if we do registration, some farms have requested it, some haven't, then 1 is just fine. And that can do for under 25. As you start to get over 25 an hour, then you start to have incremental needs for that. And I can send you the information on that. And then we do have the reimbursement for that as well. They're fairly easy to order and have them brought out. And I will say, it's great that we're getting some comments in here, but people are saying just jump in, it's fun. And for first year farms, you may choose to go with a registration format, and it gives you a little bit of confidence and understanding of how many people are coming and where they're coming. I will say people will just show up as well, because our first sort of 7 years of Farm Days, there was no registration. So people were used to actually just going to the destinations. And then the last 2 years, we did have a registration, which was part of our requirements for being able to run during COVID. So because of that, it sort of changed things a little bit. But some of our first time farmers loved it and said it was great because it allowed them to limit it and say, I want 25 people an hour. And it worked quite well for them. And some people didn't care for it and didn't want to go that path, which is completely all right as well. But it does give you a bit of an idea of what you might be able to expect.
Yeah, the smaller farms really appreciate it. I'll just use A Farms again. They use the booking system. They're a small farm. It helped them manage how many people are coming on their farm and how they're managing the volunteers in their own time. But again, not everyone that attended booked their time.
I love the comment from Nick. I just have to read it. Overall, it's a great weekend. It's very busy. I just set it up so people with toddler brains on the farm don't get hurt.
If you've never been to a farm before, you're gonna have no clue.
Yeah, Nicola almost got in trouble with an electric fence. So
I sure did. I had no idea. I'm not. I am your target audience. I had no clue what I was doing, and I almost leant on a fence, not realizing that it was full of electricity. So yeah, think about me when you're setting up your farm.
But yeah, it can be a lot of fun. I think most of our farms really enjoy it. And the visitors are just curious to come out and to learn. And they're accepting of all the farms are different. The experiences are all different. So there's no sort of preconceived notion of what each one should be. They love the fact that there's so much variation. So kind of just you and have some fun with it.
All right, thanks. I guess we'll maybe sign up for that workshop for the floss, candy floss thing. And then from what I'm understanding, it's acceptable to just kind of sell some small canned refreshments or whatever if you felt the need for that.
Absolutely. There's a whole list of things that you can have available that don't require any permitting. They're pretty straightforward. You know, drinks and snacks and jerkies and things like that. You can get a little bit more elaborate with a very simple permit. But that's also something I'm happy to chat about as well. The honey floss is a workshop, just because we have some questions coming up. And what we're doing is working through how to make it and how to do it, including all of the buying ingredients, the materials that you would need to run it on your farm. So that workshop is next week.
I'm just going to put the link to next week's workshop in the chat. So just give me a second here. And then you can sign up. I'll also be so we're recording it, and then I'll also be down in Calgary to be there. So then I can write up a blog, like have some written pieces for you as well to kind of step by step. So we'll have the video, we'll have some written pieces, we'll have some pretty photos. And then, oh, you know what I should do? I announced it in our email, but it's our 10th anniversary this year. So there are two pieces. One of them is our 10th anniversary. So our theme this year is that it takes a hive. I did mention this in the email, but just in case anyone glazed over my long email. So why we decided it takes a hive and why we decided on honey is that bees pollinate the grass, the fruits, the vegetables. So that way a bee is inclusive of all farming in Alberta. As everyone knows, we need the bees. And so from that theme, then we were able to derive a product, which is the honey floss. And honey floss is a product that you can put on your drink. So what we're doing is creating like little baseball size candy floss. And so you can put that on your drink, and it's honey, can you put on your vegetables? So just kind of messing around with how we can incorporate honey, not just as a bee pollinating all the farms and making farming happen, but then also how that can work as a food product that we can create and that we can sell, and a product that has never been created before. You don't have to make it on your farm if you don't want to. It's just a concept and a product that we've come up with that if you're interested in that, that it is, you can just make it for yourself and not make it for anyone else. It's just a product that we work with a chef to come across. So a lot of the media pieces that you will see come out around takes a hive. And as you know, and I said in the email, it's when you're a farmer, farming's not a solo thing. You work with your communities, you work with your neighbors, you buy hay, you buy vegetables. So it is really a community event. So that's our theme for this year. And there was something else, but I forgot. Did I catch that, Tanis, with the floss? Okay. So you don't have to, Nick, you don't have to make it if you don't want to. It's just something that you can add on as a make ahead of time. And if you wanted to sell it, or even if you just want to make it and throw it on your martini, that is up to you too. And it will be included on our, I'm not making it, but like, it's a really cool product. Like Tanis and Chef Andrew have been working really hard. There are I've searched Pinterest, we've searched the Google, we've searched everything. Like this is a unique product to Alberta Open Farm Days, but Alberta, the culinary scene. It's a completely unique product for everybody.
Yeah, if I can add, it's funny, we've been flavoring it with hasket berry, sour cherry, and different flavors. So it's this wonderful, wonderful, fun, creative product that's really part of all Alberta ingredients. And you know, we're tying in the Tabor sugar beet story as well to it. So our sugars that go in with our honeys are all local as well. So it's really just that celebration of local ag products.
Love this question, Tara. So this is the part where who are our partners and who do we work with? Do you need to have a free product? No, there are no obligations to have free things on your farm, with the exception of the free tour and the free admission to the farm. However, if you are, let's say, making pulses, or you're a ranch, is this an opportunity for you to go to producer groups? Is this an opportunity for you to go to your local community? You know, is this an opportunity for you to reach out to, you know, partners within your community of saying like, hey, do you guys have any stickers? Do you have any coloring books? Do you have anything? So it doesn't have to be on you to maybe produce this. This is definitely a time for where you can reach out to your community and say, hey, maybe it's even your municipality. Do they have municipal pins or coloring books or whatever that you can hand out? Are we happy? Yeah, okay. Any other questions? Everyone's good? I think that's it. So we're available. Send us questions as they come along. As Suzanne said, this is for those first timers. This is a big. It's Open Farm Days is a big thing, and you can see from 30 people attend your event up to 1,000 people. Oh yes, the website is still being worked on. It's being worked on. It's almost there. We're 90% there. There's just the kinks that I've been working out. But the big thing that I want to get across about the website though is that we had an influx of about 75 farms register on May 30th and May 31st, which is the deadline. And to upload every farm just takes some time because we had to optimize the images, and there was some GPS locations that were in Siberia that we're working on trying to get fixed. So it just takes a little bit. It just takes a little bit of time to get those up, but it's almost done. 107.
Yeah, I want to address a couple of quick questions. So Rick had mentioned that for registration is more trouble than it's worth. And I would say for some of the larger farms and the ones that are sort of agritourism ready and large, it probably is more hassle than it's worth. For some of the ones that are new and they're just trying to get an idea and don't want to be overwhelmed, it can allow you to limit your size. So for those, we had a few first-year farms last year that limited their intake to 25 people every 2 hours because they were looking for something that was really manageable. They only had 2 of them that were going to be on the farm, so they wanted to make sure they didn't disappoint anybody. So for a place like that, it was wonderful because it allowed them to stop taking registrations and then people knew they were full. So really it's completely up to you how you feel about it. So don't worry about that. Also for the farms, we have a few we know that are still coming in. They've let us know. So we sort of imagine we'll be somewhere between 110, 120, but it's hard for us to tell at this point.
But we do appreciate you registering on time.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Oh, there we go. And we've got Nick saying that they had about 400 a day. So for some people that would be too many for, that's where that registration piece can come in. Mm-hmm. And for those of you that can accept those numbers and aren't worried for sort of bring it on mentality, then I wouldn't worry about it.
Are there concerns with gas? There are concerns with lots of things. I think what we're seeing in tourism, where the trend is going, that people are still, although they're still traveling within the province. So there's still a good portion of people that the atmosphere is that people are ready to move around again and people are willing to travel again when they weren't so much last year. So We're anticipating that there'll be a lot more people than there were last year traveling around the province. Will gas prices stop them? I think it would probably keep them from traveling within like an hour or so, maybe not 2 hours from their location. So with gas prices a lower, you know, would they travel the 2 hours to go visit a farm versus an hour to go visit a farm? Yeah, I think those kind of questions, like there's like the avian flu, like there's something every year. We had the COVID, people still manage to, you know, figure it out. If the want is there, they will do that.
All right, well, I think that's a wrap then. So you can watch for information coming from all of us. The website over the next couple of days be done. You'll receive links to our updated checklist. For those of you doing culinary, you'll receive an email from me with deadlines and dates and some other materials. And of course, our whole team is here to help support your initiatives. So feel free, particularly first-time farms, if you're feeling a little apprehensive, to pick up the phone, give us a call, and we are happy to help walk you through any of the items that may be causing you concerns or things that you'd like some clarity that you couldn't find on the website or in the resources that we have. We're here to help your personal programs that you're running on your farms.
Yep. Your big job today is to go back and think about what your Open Farm Days event is going to look like from starting at 10, and then the process of when a consumer comes to visit, what does their journey look like? What are the things they can see? What are the things they're going to do? So that's going to be your homework this week. Yes. God, I'm excited for you guys. It's going to be fun. It's always fun. It's always chaotic. Expect chaos. It's going to be great. Well, that's just me. It's just chaos.
All right. Well, thank you for joining, everyone.
Thanks, Rick. Rick knows. Okay. Thank you, everyone.